What's up, guys? So, I have such a cool interview here for you today. We are interviewing Bobby Ong. He is the co-founder of CoinGecko. I'm sure you guys have heard of them. They are one of the most popular crypto resources that there are. And they published a year-end 2018 report, and it is fascinating. But before you read that, you have to see this interview because there are so many insights that he's going to shed on you guys. Enjoy. Hey, Bobby.
Hey, Stan.
Hey, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Nice to see you.
To see you.
First of all, thank you for your report. It was really great. It really helped a lot of people understand what's happening currently on the market. But I guess it's my job to make sure we really understand what was written in there. So I have a few questions for you. So first of all, how would you describe last year and what happened on the market?
So 2018 was a bearish year. So overall market cap of the top 30 coins went down by about 78%. We saw a huge correction in Q1, so it went down by 57%. Q2 and Q3 was relatively stable, where it went down only 5 to 10%. Just as we thought that the year is going to end and then it's going to be ready, steady for the year, bam, the year closed and fell by another 42% for the top 30 coins by market cap.
Yeah, I was so optimistic about the end of the year too, but didn't work out. But I mean, regarding just cryptocurrency capitalization, according to CoinGecko, you guys said that last year, everything crashed by about 78%. Why do you think it happened? I mean, is it as simple as something like investors losing faith in the market, or is it something else?
When prices went to the moon in 2017, it went all the way up. It's only natural that there will be a correction and price come back down to where it is. It's just normal financial market movement. There's nothing major, nothing out of the ordinary. I guess when things go up, you gotta take profit and sell it at that point. Yeah, I mean, in many respects, the crash of 2018 was worse than the crash of 2014. So if you look at the price of Bitcoin at the start of the year and compared to the end of the year for 2018, it went down by 73% for last year, which was a lot higher than what it was in 2014, where it went down by only 59%. I think for the end of the year, we will probably end the year at a slightly higher price than what we start the year at, but I don't think we are headed to the moon this year.
And you mentioned just right now that Bitcoin fell by 73%, and then we had Ethereum falling by 82%. I mean, these big cryptocurrencies sagged so much. I mean, there's a belief that the crypto bubble has burst. Do you believe that this is a bubble? Do you think it did in fact burst?
Oh, of course. I mean, of course it bursts. If prices falling down 70 or 90% does not count as a bubble bursting, I don't know what is. What is that? It's pretty scary then.
Yeah, I've actually heard people say that this is not a bubble. It kind of sounds like denial. We've talked to other people who said that there's been, I think, 6-7 bubbles that have already happened. So, it's just part of the process.
The bubble has definitely popped last year. Whether we have seen the bottom or not, we're not so sure. But I think we've not seen the bottom yet. It may go down further in 2019 before we see a correction towards the end of the year.
Do you believe that in 2019 the bears at some point are going to prevail, or is it going to be a very long process before we get to that?
So I think the key event to look out for is not in 2019, but actually in 2020. So Bitcoin's block is going to be, the Bitcoin block halving is happening in May 2020. So that's the key event that we should be looking out for. And I think any price action will probably be in 2020. So I don't think there's much action that's going to happen this year. Price is probably going to be pretty stable this year. It may go down, but towards the end of the year, we may see some price movement upwards as people anticipate the 2020 halving. Yeah, towards Q3 and more likely Q4, I would say, when price starts moving upward a little bit.
So you're expecting a long winter?
Yeah, long winter. I think spring is not coming anytime soon.
According to CoinGecko, the number of exchange-based tokens and stablecoins significantly increased last year. To what extent did this happen, and why do you think there's such a growth?
So among the top 100 coins in 2018, what we saw was exchange-based token taking up 10 of the top 100 coins. And this was an increase of 5 from the previous year. And as for stable coins, at the start of 2018, we only saw Tether being one of the top 100, but by the end of 2018, we saw 5 stable coins being in the top 100. Faced with falling crypto prices, traders want to hold coins that better hold value amidst all the volatility. So they want their portfolio to hold value, and stablecoin is a perfect use case for this because Bitcoin has gone down like 78%, whereas one Tether is $1. I think that's the other thing that is interesting for stablecoins. There's a lot of development in this space. 2018 saw growth of regulated stablecoins such as USDC, GUSD, and TUSD. There are now over actually 62 stablecoin projects in active development. So my prediction for 2019 is that 3 out of the top 10 coins by market cap will be stablecoins by the end of the year, and 10 of the top 100 coins at the end of the year will also be stablecoins. And I also predict that Tether is going to lose further market share in this space, and they will lose it to other stablecoins such as TUSD, USDC, GUSD, and DAI. So it'll be an interesting space to watch this year, I would say.
And the report also says that there are going to be exchanges have had an impressive growth in trading volume. So when it comes to that, I mean, how much volumes increase? Do you know what that is due to?
So, I mean, markets crashed in 2018, and logically, when markets crash, we will expect trading volume to decrease as a lot of our retail traders has left the market. But what we saw actually is that trading volume has pretty much stayed constant throughout 2018. And this is partly caused by the emergence of many new exchanges. So at CoinGecko, we added 229 exchanges in 2018. At the start of the year, we only had about 50 exchanges that we tracked. So this is a 4x increase in number of exchanges. This is a lot of exchanges, and we anticipate adding a lot more exchanges this year, and it will be interesting to watch.
So that's fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably caused by a lot of these exchanges doing in what I would say controversial techniques of boosting trading volume. I think in Q3 we saw the rise of Chinese-based exchanges. Maybe I would just say exchanges with Chinese-based links, because they're not based in China. They're based everywhere outside of China. So they started having this thing called transfee mining, and it was popularized by this exchange called Fcoin. So they do a lot of this transfee mining, and the volumes were all inflated. And that's probably one of the reasons why the volumes stayed pretty much the same throughout the year. Of course, we know by now that most of these volumes are done by bots, but that's beside the point.
That's actually something I'm always really curious about when it comes to artificial pumping of trading volumes. Do you think that's a really huge problem, or is that just kind of an acute problem in the crypto industry? And can that even be solved? Because we know it's happening.
Yeah. It's a tough problem to solve, I would say, but it's tough because this industry is not regulated, so people just do what they want. I would say it's not ethical, but there's no rules saying that it's not legal.
Yeah. It still seems like it's a bit of like a, kind of like a Wild West where it is. Yeah, and the same thing goes with hacking. I mean, there were so many hacks. I feel like last year, almost every day we heard something about the news of like, oh, this was hacked or the crypto wallet was hacked. How bad is that problem?
Yeah, I mean, just this week alone, we heard Cryptopia getting hacked. That's bad. It's one of the older exchanges. I expect things to get much worse in 2019. Expect more incidences of exchanges getting hacked. In 2018 alone, we saw $800 million lost from crypto thefts. In total, about $1.8 billion have been lost through thefts and hacks. As we see so many new exchanges coming on board, obviously the quality of exchanges will not be as high as what it would be. And competition among exchanges is going to be intense, and I would say store your coins safely on your own hardware wallet if you're not already done so, because it's always dangerous to put money on exchanges.
Do you think such hacker activities maybe because the crypto companies are not paying enough attention to security, or is it just because anything can be hacked, so it's going to happen?
So it's a combination of both. First is anything that's online at a hot wallet can be hacked. Mm-hmm. And I would say the bigger exchanges are paying attention to security. It's the smaller exchanges that you should be worried about, because these guys do not have the resources to pay to put enough emphasis on security, and these are guys that can be more easily hacked.
I want to talk about something that I feel like most people are not as interested as I am personally, but I always love hearing about ICOs. It kind of fascinates me. The ICO market in a whole, according to you guys at CoinGecko, feels pretty good, actually. Most of the successful projects have more than doubled. There was, I believe, 943, and the total amount of fees was 16.5 billion. So can we say that ICO market's not just alive, but it's pretty prosperous, right?
In the first half of 2018, because the report that we prepared was an overview of the entire 2018. So bulk of the projects that raised successfully and that raised a lot of money actually happened in the first half of the year. Towards the second half of 2018, we actually saw many ICO projects struggling. So As a couple of things. So at the start of in January, if you did an ICO, like 50% of the projects that did an ICO in January managed to reach their hard cap. And as we progressed throughout the year, this hard percentage went down. And at the end of the year in December, only 10% of ICO projects managed to reach the hard cap. That means almost all projects are finding it hard to even raise funds in the ICO market. And also, even though the industry as a whole raised $16 billion from ICO in 2018, the bulk of the funds are actually concentrated in large projects. For example, EOS did a year-long ICO and raised $4.2 billion.
Wow.
Telegram did an ICO and raised $1.7 billion. So from $16 billion, one quarter of them is just EOS by itself, and Telegram takes up a significant portion of it as well. So a lot of small projects, if they started raising at the start of the year, they could manage to hit their hard cap, but for most projects, they're actually struggling.
And speaking of ICOs, despite these large fees, the average ICO is still yielding, the tokens yield negative 67%. Do you think there's a reason for negative yield?
Yeah, it's just ICOs are overpriced. So whatever price that is sold at, when it hits the exchanges, it just falls down. At the start of the year, it was, especially in 2017, and then it continued throughout 2018, the first half of 2018. If you buy any ICO, it was pretty easy to double your money. Yeah. But towards the end of the year, like the logic is don't buy any ICO, just wait for them to hit the exchanges because it goes down and they can buy it cheap.
I read some kind of headline recently. It was, I didn't read the full article, but I believe the headline was something like ICOs. And this year, they're either going to completely disappear or they're going to transform into something new. I mean, do you think that could even happen? Like just completely, slowly fizzle out? Yeah,
so I think the ICO market is going to have to transform. It's probably going to disappear first, but I think what it will transform into. So there's two camps to this. So one camp says that STO is the next big thing to be, but I'm not so bullish on that. I think there's a lot of things in security token. First of all, for STO market to take off, there needs to be a security tokens exchange coming on board. It needs to be regulated by a government. We don't know which jurisdiction has agreed to it. There's a lot of talk to it, but there's no actual country that actually said that STO is okay. We shall see what comes out in 2019. Hopefully something comes out, but we're not so sure yet. But I think what is interesting to see is that some of the ICO teams, instead of doing ICOs, they may pivot and start raising funds using non-fungible tokens instead. Oh. So instead of selling fungible ERC20 tokens, they start selling ERC721 tokens. So we have seen some early success, such as Gods Unchained and Axie Infinity, and probably some guys going to do like trying to copy what CryptoKitties did. So I think it's something to watch out for this year.
One of the last questions I have for you is about regulation. So last year there was tons of news about crypto regulation, but do you think there's really been any progress when it comes to governments and regulation? And generally, what's your opinion on that? Do you think the government should have more of a regulation when it comes to it, or do you think it should self-regulate itself within reason?
I think government should regulate it, and I think we are seeing two extremes. On one end is China, where it just completely banned ICOs, ban exchanges and everything else crypto related. On the other hand of the spectrum, we see Japan, where they just like legalized things and gave out licenses to crypto exchanges. And between these two spectrums, you'll see a lot of other countries falling in between there, between banning outright, allowing somewhat, and allowing outright. So even in Japan, if you look at it, there will be, despite government having regulations and giving out licenses to exchanges, the exchanges there have also formed a self-regulatory body to self-regulate their behavior. So I think it's a mixture of both. And I think we should expect to see more governments coming on board and putting in place regulations. Crypto is getting more mainstream. Like everyone's heard of crypto, heard of Bitcoin these days. It's too big to be ignored. They can't just sweep it under the carpet anymore. So expect more news from governments.
All right, Bobby. So I have one last question for you, and that's
sure.
Just an overall. What are you really hoping to get out of this when it comes to 2019? Do you have any well wishes? I know you said it's most likely going to be a long winter, but are you maybe a little bit optimistic that something can happen a little bit more positive than you're expecting?
This is the year to build. So BUIDL is the year where people build and expand the industry. I think there'll be a lot of development in the space. I would keep a lookout for Lightning Network. It went up, started operating this in 2018. There's over 20,000 state channels. I would say there will be a lot more development in this space. So this is the year where I would say teams will work on blockchain scalability, and then we will start seeing blockchains being able to have higher transactions per second, higher throughput. So once this is fixed, then I think we should see more light at the end of the tunnel, I would say.
I also think this could be a very transformative year, because I feel like a lot of people that are trying to make a quick buck, they're going to be terrified of what happened at the end of last year. They're going to be a little bit fatigued from a long winter. And I think we might have actual growth and innovation coming out of this year. So I'm with you. I think maybe this is not the year, but the year after this is when we're going to see a lot of a very bearish market. And I'm going to wait patiently for that.
Yes, yeah. It's a good thing that there's a long winter. It weeds out all the people who are in it for the wrong reason.
Yes.
So if you're in it for the money, it's going to be a tough year. I mean, I always tell people, like, you got to learn and keep up to date. Things are moving really fast in the industry.
All right, Bobby, thank you so much for your time. That was really great.
All right, thank you very much, Dan.
Yeah, thank you. Guys, how was that? You enjoy it? Of course you did. That was sweet. Seriously though, we're going to talk to Bobby again as soon as we can. But for now, check out the report. It's some pretty fascinating stuff. And in the meantime, you guys know where to get all the best information right here, NakamotoJedi. So make sure you hit that bell to get those notifications in your inbox, and like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you at the next interview.